How you guys doing? Josh here with Ohio Fish Rescue. We are back with another installment on this gorgeous, massive ecosystem pond. Let's find out what we're doing today. Looking at this beautiful pond, you guys are up to date. We have the dirt being trucked in tomorrow. The bobcat was actually delivered today, and some of the materials, which let's go ahead and take a walk up front and show you what was delivered today. Oh, wait a minute. What is this? This is a huge piece of flagstone we went and bought for the river stream. Hey, Will, you want to go down and show them the size of this? Go ahead and just kneel right by it.
Check it out, check it out.
There you go. This thing is like, 3.5 foot by 3 foot, and it kind of looks like it's in the shape of Ohio. So there might be a carving right there in the near future that says Ohio Fish Rescue. Who knows? We'll see if my carving lady can actually do it. But we picked up this piece of flagstone as well for the wetland filter water falling back in. Then we have 2 intermediate waterfalls that we're going to go ahead and build up for waterfalls. Now let's take a walk up front and find out what we had delivered today. Okay, so you see this is a pile of 3-inch river rock here. You can see there goes a piece in Will's hand. It is a mixture of 1 to 3-inch river rock. This is going to be the base for the wetland filter. At the same time, we had this limestone delivered for the driveway. We still have to spread it out and make it even. And then over here we have the smaller 1/2-inch to 1-inch river rock that we're going to use as a topping layer for the wetland filter. Actually, this is the intermediate layer, and then the top layer will be pea gravel. That is still yet to be delivered, but you walk up here, this is a massive, massive bobcat. Has a 72-inch bucket on it with tracks. It is a big beast of a machine. We had just rented this because tomorrow, I told you, we have about 200 yards of dirt being trucked in, and I will be manning this bobcat, and then my dad's friend Dave Demeter, he is coming over and he is lending his skills with his bobcat to go ahead and help us truck all this dirt in the back and level it. So I'll be running dirt back and forth. He'll be using his bobcat to level it. So can't thank Dave enough. If you guys need any landscaping needs, get a hold of us. We will definitely give you his contact. He does great work, tree removal, landscaping, whatever you need. But back to the pond. So looking at this pond, you guys notice what happened to the stream. Well, we told you this was just a dry run of the placement of the rock. So I went and we moved this left side up onto this berm. Then we folded the liner back. We moved all the right rocks over to the left side. If you see here, there's these yellow dots. I went and I marked them with marking paint. So when we bring the liner back in, we have positions that the liner was already placed and in position and doing well. We drained this wetland filter for the last time. We adjusted the liner to move it over to the right about 6 inches so we can make this work with the waterfalls. We were able to raise it up just a few more inches so that it'll make it way better on our waterfalls coming down into this stream. But now what we're working on is these liners over here. You see we have them laid out, and there is a 1x12 going all the way down through the center. And you can see this liner going back into the pond is right on the edge of that 1x12. Now there is a reason for that. We are prepping to go and seam this liner, and I will show you how to do that step by step because we learned from the best. So looking at this, some of you guys might be wondering, how is this going to be seamed together? Well, like I said, this liner is on the edge of this board all the way down. That gives us a flat surface to work on. Now this is folded over, and this is all going to be excess. It can either lay in the stream, be covered in rock, or you can go back and cut this off and then cover it over with cover tape. But what we're going to do is fold this liner back. It's going to expose a surface here and a surface here that you want to prep for the primer and the seam tape. we're gonna take this board here and lay it right across here next to that 1x12. So you basically have two surfaces to prep your liner. You go ahead and clean it with acetone, and then you get all the dirt off of it, and then you clean it with the EPDM primer, put your seam tape down, and then you bond the two surfaces. So we'll show you how we do that step by step as we progress along and get this job done. So here we are, everything's in place. I lined up the liner to where we wanted it. We have this 2x12 underneath the main seam. Go ahead and fold this back, prep both sides. Here's what we have to prep. I said acetone earlier. Acetone will work, but you can also use alcohol wipes or rubbing alcohol. So we got a bunch of alcohol wipes here to clean the surface after we rinse it with just regular water and a rag and soap. And then here, this is for the primer. This is just a handle with a very abrasive scrub pad on it. That is for applying the liquid primer before you put on the seam tape. And it scuffs up the surface and gets down in all the little micro cracks to create a very strong bond. This here is the seam tape. It is coated in plastic here, so it is free from dirt. This is basically, think of it as a double-sided sticky tape for EPDM liners. We're basically going to take this, roll it out along the seam after it's prepped with the primer, of course. Both sides, wait for it to tack up, then fold the liner back onto it, and then it chemically bonds together, and then you have one liner all the way across here. So I'm going to get to work here. I'm going to hand you off to my dad, and he will video the rest of the process. Okay, so we have the liner flipped back. We are now prepping these sides. You can see here, already wiped this down with just soap and water. You can see an amazing difference where the dirt and the clean liner is. Will is right now cleaning up that left side there. He said, "What's up?" But after this, after it's drying out from the soap, I'm gonna go ahead and take our heat gun to each surface to go ahead and make sure all of the area is dry, and then we'll come back and hit it with the alcohol wipes, and then again with the heat gun. Then we will be ready for the seam tape and primer. Alright, so what we're doing here, like I said, we're taking the heat gun, extracting all the moisture from the area that we just prepped to be seamed here. You can see here, say this wet part, you take the heat gun to it, and it basically just wicks all the moisture out of it. It's actually doing it through heat, so wicking is actually the wrong word. It was just the first one that came to mind. Magic. You want this seam to be free of all dirt and all moisture.
Alright, Josh is cleaning it with the rubbing alcohol. You get each section wet and you're good to go. You try and move too fast and it starts drying out. Turn it over.
All the extra dirt.
Yeah, there is extra dirt on there after you've washed it. That's the whole purpose of that's too much, Josh, of rubbing alcohol. And so on and so on.
Okay, and we're back. You just seen the surface being prepped with alcohol. Now we have our primer. We were keeping it warm inside the monster pond because it's kept at 82 degrees. The warmer this product is, the easier it's going to work for you. But the primer we have here, it is basic, just Firestone Quick Prime plus primer. And this is a smelly product here. So what you want to make sure you do, you get yourself a stir stick, something. You want to make sure that this is thoroughly stirred before you go and try and use this product. It will stain you, so be diligent with the way you use this. So I'm going to go and stir this for a while. I will get back to you guys in just a sec. Okay, so we are applying primer now. You always want to make sure that you do a little bit more than you're supposed to. That tape's only about 4 inches wide, so we're doing about a foot wide surface with the primer. So wherever that tape lands, you can be sure that your primer is there and your surface is ready to be bonded. So I'm going to go ahead and continue on with this, and I will get back to you guys when we are ready to do the seam tape.
Okay, we are checking how tacky it is.
So basically what you want, when you pick up your liner, you want the liner to pick up a little bit and then fall off your finger. That you know the tack is good, you're ready for seam tape.
If you wait too long, you'll pull your finger up and it'll get stringy, and you don't want that. This is perfect.
Okay, bring it to where it's like a 1/2 inch over your edge.
To left. The edge? No, it's already, he already touched it. It's already done. It's done. Just set it down.
Go that way a little bit, Josh. There you go.
Now, get your roller and roll it, guys.
Take this roller and just roll it.
Yeah, see, I saw the videos of where other people have done both sides at once. We're only doing one side at a time, because we're not professionals at this. This is our first time doing it. So we're doing one side, preparing it, getting it clean, getting it done, making sure it sticks. Josh and Will are rolling it in. You got to really push it down and push it hard into there. Now when we prepare this side, we can go ahead, once it gets tacky, we can peel off this tape and fold it right over and just roll it in. And it'd be a lot easier than, you know, the way I was shown to do it online was, you know, 3 people, do it all at one time. We decided to do it this way to give us more time. Okay, go ahead and get your primer on this side. As soon as you get your primer done, you pull that paper off, because you know it didn't take too long at all to get sticky.
Clean this out with the alcohol first.
Yep, we got to clean this with the alcohol, then prime it, and then we're ready to go. Okay, there's Josh rolling it over. This is the side he started on, and now he's working his way to the side that's just now getting tacky. He's doing a good job. We watched a couple videos from Aquascape and we learned how to do this.
No. We've been doing this for years.
Don't let them fool you, folks. The key to everything is preparation and your due diligence. Learn, figure it out online. Know how to do it before you do it. Then go do it. Then there's no unanswered questions, or what if this, or what if that. Good job, Josh. See, now everybody makes mistakes. Josh had this liner in. See all this mud and dirt? He already had all the rocks in place where he wanted it on the river. And then to figure out he has to do the liner, I'm like, you have to take all them rocks off, you know. You have to, you know, lay the liner down flat, and he tried to do it in place and it just would not work. So he had to take all the rocks off and then come back and do it this way. But he learned he'll never do it that way again. And we couldn't get the seam on without, you know, it folding and bending the way we were bending it and all that kind of stuff. So just extra work is all. No harm done, no foul, no nothing. Just a little bit of extra work. But if we'd have known this ahead of time, we wouldn't have done that extra work.
Here we go. The last bit of rock being delivered. All right, straight back. You're good right there. Yep. Now watch this. Just gonna go ahead and flip this open, all from inside the bed. Look at that. Unlocks. You're just gonna flip this up and dump it out right in the driveway. So convenient, so easy. This is the last of the pea gravel, so we'll be able to finish off the top of the filter box, and then we'll be able to use what's left over to be able to fill in the pond anywhere we might be low. So this will work out perfectly. I know last time when we did the pool, we were left with probably about 3 yards that we couldn't use for the longest time. Now we just had to end up spreading it in the driveway to be able to get rid of it.
a little small. They want it between 3/8 and a 1/2 inch pieces. These are all like 1/4 inch pieces. We have to deal with what we've been delivering.
Look at that. Beautiful. Rock slide. Okay, so our seam is now done. You've seen how we did that. It is awesome. It's good. It's great. Now we move this board over. Now we're going to come back with the cover tape and go right down this seam right here. So we got to wash this surface, prime it, and put the cover tape on. And that's what we're doing next. And then we can put this liner back in the river system. So this surface is prepped. We have the primer down. We just cut this cover tape. Now what you're looking at here, this is actually the top side. You have to peel off this brown tape and stick it down. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I will show you guys what the finished product looks like after this tacks up for just a little bit. Here we have it, folks. We are done with this seam. Look at that beautiful seam all the way down. Looks like glass.
Hey, Josh,
you can see right, what's up?
I think even Greg Wittstock would be proud of you.
You can see here's the cover tape, so there's no stickiness here. You can see a little bit of residue where this primer's still drying, but like I said, you want it to go over so you know both surfaces are coated and you have full contact with the cover tape. So now all the way down you have cover tape on half of this liner, half of the old liner. The old seam is right here. So that it is double barrier.
And not to mention, it's on an old dirty liner that we pulled out of our barn that we've had sitting around for ages. This ain't a nice new clean liner like the boys at Aquascape get to work with.
But this came out beautifully. Now we can carry this back in and set it up in the river stream. What's that?
Because we looked online, we followed Aquascape's instructions, watched their videos. You want to know how to seam a pond? Just say seam a pond. Aquascape videos will come up right away, pond liner. They'll come up right away, and watch them. That's what we did, and we learned to do this. Very informative.
All right, we are getting the liner back in place. You can see I matched my yellow dots back up and my yellow lines here back up. So the liner is basically where it sat before. I am slowly working out wrinkles here, getting it formed back into the corners. So we are good to go to start placing rock again. I got to finish working out these few wrinkles here, fold this back, place the rock from here back onto this berm, and then follow it around this corner and then back into the pond. So exciting, guys. All right, so my man Wittstock helped me. Well, he's my cameraman right now, so he's helping me film. But what we did here, my buddy Clinton just left. He helped me put in all the stone. So you can see, like I was talking about, we moved back the liner, we placed one side of the stone, we got this side in, and we were able to fold the liner back, put the stones back onto the liner. It was a big fiasco. Nonetheless, we got it done. Can't thank them enough. But when you come over here, you see we're stepping over these pieces of flagstone. We don't really want to step on them because they might crack and break. This one here, we're going to go and take a chisel right across this line. We're going to try and crack this piece off so it's a long skinny piece this way. We're going to turn it, set it and indent it down into that 2x10 right there. This is going to be the start of the first fall. It's going to come crashing down, and then water's going to flow this way. Now you're going to come to this piece of flagstone here, which we're going to raise up a bit. We have to adjust it. We can now water test this whole thing because that's seamed. We can put water in here. It only has one place to go, which is out. So now we can adjust, levels how we want it. So this is going to be waterfall number 2. It's going to come crashing down through here. We're probably going to have boulders in the center to split the flow. What this is doing is creating oxygen and sound on top of creating a naturalistic, beautiful looking scape. So it's going to come through here, a couple boulders, and then we get to this piece right here. You can see underneath the liner, we put a 2x8, or this is a 2x10, I'm sorry. We put a 2x10 as long as our width of the river, so we can create a raise for this waterfall. Then we set this piece of flagstone on top of it. We hand picked these pieces of flagstone for these areas, and I couldn't have gotten any better pieces if I think so myself. But this right here, you're gonna have water coming off all of these edges. We still gotta fill in the sides and the sides here, and we're gonna go ahead and foam everything in so it's watertight. The water has no place to go except over these pieces of flagstone. Then it's gonna come crashing through here, hit these high banked walls. That's why we have this a high bank curve right here. The water's gonna come crashing through here, creating sound against this rock, and have nowhere to go except this way and down. It's then going to hit this big piece of slate here and go crashing back down into the waterfall, or the pond there. But I've got one last surprise. I've been saving a certain rock because I knew somewhere at some point I'd be able to use it. And it's this piece right here. It is super thin. It has a lot of pyrite in it, and it looks absolutely beautiful. It cracked off one of our larger stones.
Wow.
And I said, ooh, save that because I can use that somewhere. And just so happens, we got super lucky. Look at this. This seems like it was planned.
Yeah, it does.
The rock locks in right there against the stone. We can raise this up halfway in between here and there, create another waterfall right here before it hits the big stone. So this is going to create a lot of sound, a lot of aeration, and make this look absolutely beautiful.
Can't wait to see it, Josh. It's going to look amazing.
So today you got to learn how to build an awesome riverscape, as well as seam two liners together, how to properly do it. This was our actual first time doing it. We actually learned from watching Aquascape videos. So if we can do it, you guys can do it. Log on to Aquascape's YouTube and watch some pond build videos, and you guys can create something just as lovely as this. So I hope you guys are excited as I am to see how this riverscape turns out, because it is going to be beautiful. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys want to see more crazy adventures with the Ohio Fish Rescue, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And as always, stay fishy, my friends.